Teal Terran player. Turn it up.
And his opponent, up in the top right-hand corner, going for a pretty early pool here. He is from Outback Steakhouse. It is Kommatiazo.
Yeah. 9 Overlord, 10 pool.
Yes.
Really, really interesting build coming out of Kommatiazo here. Especially on Secret Spring. Secret Spring is an incredibly defensible map for the Terran. So I'm really interested to see what he plans on doing with this.
Yeah, you got the ramp right there, which you're inevitably gonna wall off. It is a short rush distance, I'll give him that. But yeah, it's kind of weird. There's something to be said for you could attack, and if it doesn't work, you can rip the rocks down with your links, and at least you're fine. But it still doesn't really work out that way. And as his pool finished, he didn't attack. He's just making drones. So this doesn't make a lick of sense.
Not even slightly. I don't know. I think Kommatiazo maybe got thrown off a little bit because he did scout very, very early, and it's a very, very short rush distance. So when he got there, I don't know that there was a barracks at TerranItup's ramp, and maybe he thought, "Oh God, there's no racks. There's no barracks. I'm being 2 racks. Oh God, please help,
that's possible."
And threw it down at 10. But I mean, that doesn't seem like Kommatiazo. I think he's better than that.
Yeah.
Not to talk about too much, but I think he knows the timings a bit better. He knows that a 10 pool isn't your standard response to a 2 racks. No. I don't know.
It does mean the other possibility is, what if this was literally a defensive early pool and he's worried about a lot of Reapers, which is 2 of them are, one's already there, 1 more is on the way. So what if this was intended just to have that queen already out and the Ling's already out by the time they ever get there?
I mean, maybe, but he hasn't seen, I don't know.
Yeah.
The Reaper's already got 1 kill.
Yeah.
And TerranItUp is going up to 3 Reapers. Secret Spring, of course, is a very, very Reaper-friendly map. So it's possible, but even so, a 10 pool is not the way to go about that.
No.
15 hatch, 16 pool gets you some defense for Reapers, possibly not on Secret Spring, but a 14 pool or 15 pool would do fine, and it doesn't sacrifice your economy in quite the same way that a 10 pool does. So I don't know. It's definitely something to ask him about after the game, maybe. But for now, it is what it is, and the game goes on.
Yeah, I agree. As long as you pull first, then you should be fine. He did kill 1 of the Reapers. He's lost 2 drones to it, though. And 2 more are still alive. Where did his queen go? His queen is wandering.
He's going to lose a lover.
Okay,
another drone. 3rd drone going down.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is really not good for Kommatiazo. He shouldn't really take that much damage from Reaper.
Yeah, especially since he did cut to get to this point. We're already missing a few drones because of that. So
if you're going to go 10 pool to defend against Reapers, you don't lose a single drone.
Yeah, you better actually defend against them if that's the case. And behind this, TerranItUp is getting his 3rd command center, so he's obviously pretty satisfied with the control. He has 2 Reapers still alive, done a little bit of damage. Good stuff.
Yep, good job with those men. And along with this, a starport going down and a tech lab on that barracks. It's possible we could see Cloak Banshees coming out from TerranItUp. He does have that double gas, though. He's only got 2 in 1. We'll have to see whether he actually starts doing anything with this tech lab, or whether he just lifts the starport up and swaps it around when it finishes. Yeah, looks like we'll see some Banshees.
Nice.
And Kommatiazo throws down his Rotron as well. Now, Secret Spring, one of the worst things for me about playing Secret Spring as Zerg is it's so difficult to take 3rd base, particularly against Terrans. You either take the one up in the kind of top middle right, the one I'm looking at right now, kind of left of the natural, which is very, very far away. And so it's also quite easy for him to lift up and fly into your natural and kind of drop between 2 locations. Or you take the one that's below your main, which is basically even better for him to lift up and fly into your main, and then you have to take a really long route round, and then he lifts back up and flies back down, and it's so horrendous to deal with. So
It really is a brutal map for that. Obviously, Protoss faces a similar issue, but yeah, Terran so mobile on this. Everything kind of works in their favor on this map, really. And yeah, we have the Banshee out, swing it up towards the north. It will go near a Overlord, but I don't believe.
Oh yeah,
he should be able to see that. Yeah, yep.
If Kommatiazo was paying attention, he would have seen that.
Now there are already spores there, so he may have anticipated that as the natural follow-up. They've been done for a while here now, and as you said, there's no third coming yet, unless he literally put it down, as we were saying, or is sending a drone to put it down.
Yes, I see.
Yeah.
I don't know. At the same time, though, Banshee does come into the natural base. It's just going to hold position here, a little bit out of range. Cloak's not really that useful. Spore Crawler can see it there. And actually, it's in range. Needs to get back a little bit. So, yeah, it's a decent kind of spot to hold position in. If you can find somewhere just on the edge of the Spore Crawler vision range that still hits the extractor or something, would be the ideal. Especially as Kommatiazo's lair's just finished. There's no detection just yet.
Yeah, Hellions rush into the main base here. There is only one queen there to defend. Roaches are out of position, obviously. They actually went up to deal with the bitch, which they're not experts at.
Finds all the drones, and they're lining up to a fairly significant degree. But
that could have been worse there for a second, but he has lost 12 total.
12 drones.
So it's still pretty bad. Obviously, 3 of them original.
Yeah.
So 9 there, but still that is pretty bad for just a simple run-in like that.
Yeah. Especially given, again, he's already a little bit behind just because of the opening. We see right now 49 SCVs to 36 drones. And to lose more and more on top of that is really, really horrible. Kommatiazo kind of looked like he might have been gearing up for a bit of a Roach Bane bust, but it's going to be so hard to pull that off if he is looking to with all those Hellions out.
Yeah, very true. And I think it's another case like that opening with the early pool. This is another case of you built the thing that's meant to stop this. So you built these roaches.
The roaches.
And the purpose of that is to stop exactly what just happened. So that's the worst possible lose.
Yeah, absolutely. If you work towards preventing something and then it just happens anyway.
Yeah.
But right now, Kommatiazo is moving outside TerranItup's base. 2 Widowmines are going to spot these roaches and lings, but Kommatiazo doesn't see the Widowmines because they are just a little outside his vision range. And those Widowmines are excellently positioned to take out any Banelings.
They really are, and there's so much up here. I think he's going to try and either bait him in or... Okay, Burrows.
Down.
Yeah, he's just
Kommatiazo cannot take that, and he's going to have to back off.
And that's just providing cover for this SCV transfer there, which went out directly behind. Banshee going to work on the roaches. Overall supply is just quite heavily in Terran's favor at the moment, which really at this stage in the game it should not be in most games. Big Baneling morph incoming. Actually, quite a big Baneling morph incoming.
17 Banelings, quite a few, but no speed at all yet. It's going to be very difficult to dodge these mine shots, although TerranItUp, notably, has no medevacs with this army. So that's going to be quite big. One more stim, and these Banelings are going to be one-shotting Marines. So that's a really, really big kind of paradigm shift in the engagement. But for now, Banelings just kind of throwing themselves onto Hellbats, taking those down, getting rid of those before the real engagement happens and the big fights start happening. Behind this as well, TerranItUp is going for double armory and a second starport. So it's going to be very interesting to see what kind of composition he actually chooses to go for. Back in the main base, one Banshee goes down. The second Banshee, it looks like, will get away by the skin of his teeth. But TerranItUp has such a good contain here, and actually, is now going to send small contingency of units over to this third base, and I don't think it's going to be long for this world. Kommatiazo, if he's going to try and save the third, he has to do it now. And it's going to be so tough to move down this ramp.
Yeah, I think he's going to trigger those mines, which I think he does are there, and then get out here somehow before this goes down, because once this is down...
It's dead now already.
Yeah, exactly.
But it just has too much DPS, and he's even going to get most of the drones here. But this does give Kommatiazo an opportunity to move down his ramp. TerranItUp throws up a few mines, and I think very, very nearly caught a big bunch of units there. Kommatiazo's gonna be that's some big hits. That's fantastic for TerranItUp, and yeah, that took out a lot of the banelings, a lot of the lings, and damaged several of the roaches. So now TerranItUp has a big opportunity to engage here. But again, the lack of medevacs even is seriously going to hurt him. Although one is arriving now, Kommatiazo moves forwards, gets a decent baneling connection, and he's going to get another little group of these units. But TerranItUp has such a concave here, and as Kommatiazo runs out of banelings, he has to move back. The banelings are his last hope here, or his big hope, especially again with all these units on such low health, because there's no.
I'm not sure I understand this corruptor transition.
This is the dark style, kind of roach bane a bit more as a composition and corruptors, but
the response,
not
like
really
what they're meant to kill isn't there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Kommatiazo is just kind of blindly following it because that's what he gets. That's what Dark gets. But of course, TerranItUp doesn't really have the medevacs for it to be necessary. Oh, the banelings. Nice little split off from Kommatiazo. I'm not sure it was necessary, but thought is good nonetheless.
Yeah, at least it dies on the Widow Mine. Damaging a little bit, but yeah, that's it. I mean, I guess the corruptors, like, you could say that they were there to suppress the medevac count from ever getting high, but it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, the medevac count has actually climbed up to 5 now, so they haven't done that either.
Yeah.
And TerranItUp's actually moving up the base here. Widowmine's going to get actually a bit of a whiff shot. And now the Corruptors go to work on the medevacs. The Banelings get some decent connections, but now they're all spent.
Yeah.
The Roaches actually might be able to take this. It's only Marines left over here.
Yeah, now that he has gotten rid of, there's just the one Marauder in there. But
Marines on 1-1 though, versus 0 upgrade Roaches.
The mule drops are real. He knows he's got him on 2 base. He knows that this isn't gonna last.
There is a third base Kommatiazo has put down up here, but if TerranItUp even looks up there, he will kill it. TerranItUp can possibly even just move down. Big hit on all the roaches. The second one of mine is gonna get a shot off, but yeah, TerranItUp's got so much here. 3 Marauders being added in as well, and again the upgrade so much in TerranItUp favor. +2 just about to finish up as well. And nice baits on the Widowmines actually gets a lot of these Marines. But
it's so much healing there now. Yeah, it's breaking through. I mean, it's a 100 supply lead. Yeah, good game, well played, and it was on TerranItUp's. He was always in an advantageous position, literally all the time. Hello, we are back here. We are on Expedition Lost for map number 2 of the evening, and up here on the top right-hand side of that map from Team Outset Gaming, it is Kommatiazo.
And his opponent, down here in the bottom left, taking the first game, and take the rest of the series. It is the Teal Terran player, TerranItUp.
And we've got no early pool or anything this time, at least.
Yeah, nothing too funny coming out of either player.
That's crazy. TerranItUp just opening with a wall again. It hasn't moved towards a gas yet, though. This one, not the best map for Reapers at all.
No. I was going to ask you, do you think
it's like the worst?
Yeah. Do you think he'll... I think it actually is literally the worst map in the pool for Reapers.
I think so. It looks, at first glance, people might think there's other places to go. There's literally one place you can jump up, and it's like 5 feet wide. So
that little bit right there. That's the only place you can actually jump up into the main. And obviously you have to go through the natural as well. So you kind of park a queen there and park a queen in the main covering that bit, and they have to take 2 queens worth of fire if they want to scout your main, and by that time they're dead. So it's awful for Reapers. That being said, I was going to ask you whether you thought TerranItUp was going to open up 3 Reapers again. Obviously, Marine first, I think a much better choice on this map, especially given there's no Overlord hidey spots particularly. So it's much easier to get a kill on this Overlord. And Kommatiazo is going to try and send it over there. And I mean, it's going to keep it alive for a bit longer, but I don't think it's going to get us alive. I think this Overlord will die.
Yeah, at least if he decides to go chase it, he will at least deviate. He is sending the Marine out. And it is always a good pick off to get that early. He's actually stopped there a little short, but it's now going to deviate into the base too. So if that one doesn't get it, the first one will come back and do it.
Yeah, but Kommatiazo does at least get some scouting information. He should, he's going to see the factory go down here. So factory timing, exact, bada bing, bada boom. Very nice. He knows, he knows the barracks doesn't have an add-on on it. Yep. Just because it hasn't changed position. So, yeah, a little bit of information there, and I don't think he quite caught the gas. No, he didn't see the gases. That's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, not close enough, because, the double gas would certainly be a bit of a tip-off on what's going on. It's quite possibly another Cloak Banshee move here, based on what he's getting, given that he hasn't used initial gas at all. But
yeah, if Kommatiazo had even seen the one gas, the closest gas, he would have been able to tell it was double gas, because that gas hasn't had enough mine from it to build a factory, and there's a factory. So shoulda, coulda, woulda though. Doesn't really matter right now though. Starport going down. I think we're going to see Cloak Banshees again. A little bit faster than the last game, obviously, because without that 3 Reaper commitment, you get your factory a whole lot faster.
He's getting a reactor though, actually, on the other barracks.
That is true.
So he's not throwing the tech lab at least not right away. So this may be more of a initial quick drop or something. But he's getting Hellions. So I'm not sure actually what direction he is planning to take this. If it was going to be a really fast drop, it would either be more I don't know, or Widow Mine or something like that.
Yeah, generally it's Widow Mines if you're going for fast drops, but now the Starport's just not doing anything. I'm watching it like hawk.
He rushed, he went right to it for sure, and not building yet. So
he just selected it. Okay. Tech Lab being built on Starport.
Okay,
maybe just slightly slower, but for now, Kommatiazo kind of sticking to his guns from the last game. Bit of a faster third this time, which I quite like. On Expedition Lost, it's a bit easier to defend that third. Still not the best, but okay. And the Roach Warren coming out as well. I think everything looks a little bit better for him this game.
Yeah, everything's a lot more on track. Obviously, none of that initial harassment. His economy's and tech is going where he wants it to. The Roaches on this map, there's a lot of ramps up and down and a lot of places to kind of get choked. So I'm not sure they're my favorite here, but it can still definitely work out. He is getting the double upgrades. And we get a Banshee coming, but it's supply blocked at the moment, and Cloak is starting.
Yeah, double upgrades for ranged as well, notably. Little bit unusual. Could see some Roach Hydra coming out of Kommatiazo. It's a style I prefer myself, so can do very well. A lot of the newer maps not so hot for the one with Roach. So Expedition Lost actually I think is one of the ones that's still okay for it. Quite a thin ramp though, and it's just generally a style that's fallen out of favour a little bit. But if you can pull it off, it's still very difficult to hold.
Yeah, and I think it is going to end up being the right call, as TerranItUp has thrown down an armory. So I think he's looking to do some sort of strong Banshee with Hellbat type of push here. He has gotten himself in a little bit at least of supply block trouble throughout this game so far at a couple key points. The first Banshee is late. He's unable to start a second one. One supply depot finishes, still hitting a supply block until the next one, and finally had to call down a supply there. The Hellbat transition will come to the front here. The Queens are fairly damaged.
Kommatiazo they get stuck in the front as well. One goes down with no transfuse, and that makes a big problem. That Banshee's going to be so much more effective. Kommatiazo has these Hellbats in a pretty nice choke though, with all the Roaches popping. The Hellbats will be taken care of without too much trouble, but that Banshee is going to present a few more problems here for Kommatiazo.
Yeah, we'll pick up another kill or two. He's got a Spore Crawler coming in the back. Is he making an Overseer at all? He's not at the moment.
Just does it now.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, he's going to want that out, obviously. Very often, Zergs will just automatically start that like the moment their lair is done, basically. One, because they're going to go in for a scout or something with it, but yeah, also for this purpose. The Roach is streaming across here now. There is a tank up. There is a Widowmine down. Widowmine not the best, but the tank obviously pretty good. Second one.
Oh, not good enough.
Yeah. And,
a hole in the wall, I think. The biggest problem there for TerranItUp. Now Kommatiazo completely overrunning with Roaches. Yeah, there's another tank kind of halfway finished, but even that one tank is not going to be enough. The Natural's being lifted off. A ton of work has already gone down. Kommatiazo completely streaming up. Got a ton of Roaches in the main base, some more reinforcing. And yeah, behind this, 13 more Roaches, +2 on the way. Another tank was finished, and it's in a good position, but just not good enough as Kommatiazo moves through these buildings, makes it through the tank, and it dies in 2 volleys. And oh look, it's those juicy SCVs again.
Yeah, and this is the issue with Roaches is, yes, you can have stuff that shoots down and they don't shoot up, but give them like a half an hour to die. And this is the damage they can do in the meantime. And we're down to below 50 supply now for a Terran player. This has got 3 CCs, so we'll be able to make a bit of a comeback if once this does stabilize, and it will stabilize at some point, but more Roaches are coming in. A single Widowmine, not even enough to actually kill a Roach, is the issue with those.
Yeah.
So yeah, double Banshee going, and the GG is called.
Yeah, just Roaches. Behind that, Kommatiazo had just gone back to droning. Okay, guys, welcome back to Overgrowth game number 3. Tied it up 1-1 last game. And, yeah, first player down here in the bottom left-hand corner is the teal player. TerranItUp.
And his opponent in the top right-hand corner of the map from Team Outset Gaming, bringing it back in that last game. He is the yellow Zerg player, Kommatiazo.
Oh, a little bit of a tick there on TerranItUp. He just pulled all his SCVs and pulled them back again. So it's going to put him behind a little bit in mining time, but not the biggest deal. This game, Kommatiazo, 15 hatch, pretty standard. Would expect a 16 pool to follow this up. Basically, you know, it's pretty much as standard as it gets on the map. That is as standard as it gets in our map pool. Overgrowth, of course, one of everybody's most liked maps because it's just, you know, it's pretty good. There's nothing too
normal.
Too crazy defensive about it like Deadwing. Nothing too crazy, kind of cheesy about it like, I don't know, Secret Spring maybe Expedition Lost. Any of the smaller maps with weird stuff going on, or you know, Inferno Pools, which is this dysfunctional mess of I don't know what kind of map I want to be. But yeah, it's a good standard sort of map.
Yeah, and of course that's why they removed it from the map pool. It was too.
Yes.
It was too.
Well.
It was too good.
It had been in.
Yeah, it had been in for a while. Yeah, that's for sure. It did start to get a little scale, or a little stale, but Inferno Pools definitely had to keep that one. Yeah, I know. That's ridiculous. But spawning pool is almost done. Kommatiazo has gone ahead, started mining the gas there, and yeah, opened it pretty decently, both economical and still able to defend himself here, not going for a quick third or anything. TerranItUp looks like he's gearing up to take the CC right in location.
And yeah, I think we've been pretty good. Kommatiazo actually 8 lings. There's a few more than you'd usually get. Usually just 6 lings to try and defend a Reaper. But Kommatiazo 8 is, I mean, it's only 1 pair more, so yeah, he just kind of really wants to be safe against those Reapers. They did do him so much damage in game 1.
Yeah, and Terran actually canceled his third Reaper upon the first one getting there. He had 2 more queued up, and to not let that finish. Yeah, that one barely getting away, and he does have 2 kills, but I think they're just lane kills. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, both lanes.
Yeah, with the queen out, that's going to be hard to come in. This map, not the worst for it, but it's also not the best for Reapers in that there is a limited area that you can get up and down.
Yeah, you can just kind of scrape up that area up by the where the lights are.
Yeah,
into the main
and we're
base.
right back into roaches here for Kommatiazo as well. 3rd CC coming down for TerranItUp, and once again he's going for that pretty early starport here with that 3rd CC. So he's cut a few times pretty light on his actual defense on his end. And obviously get caught after the push in the last game, but in the first he opened with these Reapers and then turned on production hardcore once he had 3 bases.
Yeah, I mean, this time TerranItUp is going to get his Banshees a little faster. The 3rd CC obviously is going down, and we'll kind of see whether he throws down that armory or whether he gets some more barracks or something. Oh, actually, this is a little interesting. Tech lab on the barracks and then a tech lab on the starport as well.
Yeah.
So the Banshees are going to be a bit later again, but maybe a faster stim, bit faster stim. So kind of going up for another push forwards or something. Kommatiazo though, getting a Baning Nest, getting Lings, and getting Roaches out. Could see a little bit of Roach Bane Bust coming out from him once he chases down these Reapers though.
Reapers trying to juke out these Lings will eventually get caught and taken down. But they certainly were a distraction that entire time, and it was probably hard to take a 3rd with them out there, and I think Kommatiazo would have wanted to take a 3rd at some point during that. He's still floating a lot of minerals, a lot of gas, but now moving Lings and Roaches across the map as well.
Yeah, he is looking to get a bit aggressive right now. See whether Kommatiazo actually moves straight past. He's going to send a few Lings forwards to try and trigger this Widow Mine, and very nicely gets it off on just 3 of them. But the other 3 Lings are going to kind of be killed by the Italians, I think. Oh no, he's going to mic them back. Just try and stop that bunker finishing. You can stop that bunker finishing, but he's targeting down the bunker, not the SCV. Doesn't matter, still gets it. And yeah, now Kommatiazo, a ton of Lings in here. They're trapping all the Hellions. They do manage to get away. The Roaches, though, are the real issue here. TerranItUp does have a Banshee, and it's going to make it. I mean, it's going to kill these Roaches eventually. I'm hesitating to say make short work of them, but nice Widow Mine detonation gets the rest of the Lings. And these Roaches, their time is limited, but as you said before, they can do quite a lot of damage with limited time. Although it's going to be tough, but just 4, he can't break through that supply depot. He's just going to have to do what he can down here in the natural.
I think he just has to continue to harass long enough that these Lings make it across and make it back in the door. The Widow Mine is not reset yet, so he just doesn't want this to wall off. He's actually pulling back his Lings, though, and turning them into Banelings. And I'm not certain that that's the right call with the wall completely open like that. Because he doesn't have to bust anything like that. But they will be ready shortly, and he's got some Roach reinforcements, so maybe he's waiting for that too. And no attempt actually to reestablish the wall right now.
But now 2 Banshees out for TerranItUp, and only 4 Banelings aren't gonna bust through anything significant. Like they're not gonna bust through completely through a supply depot or anything.
So I don't know what's happening here. So there he comes and reestablishes the wall here now.
Yeah, the wall's coming down. Kommatiazo's trying to bait out the Widow Mine, and I mean he gets it to a degree. But yeah, a couple of Bangs go down. They do bust the wall out a bit more open, and now there's a lot of Roaches in here. But 2 Marauders are gonna kill off a few of the Roaches, at least soften the rest up. So those 2 Banshees are gonna make short work of the rest. And I mean that second attack from Kommatiazo really didn't do much.
No,
I think it would have him to go back into droning. But 20 more Lings. If that was 10 drones, he'd be in a great position, I think. Yeah,
right now that's definitely this attack is over. Stop it. I think initially, like I said, when the 14 Roaches or 14 Lings were coming and the wall was still down, instead of stopping to turn them into Banshees there, he just continued to flood. I think that was go time. and then roaches would have came after that and everything. But yeah, this round is now got to be entirely defensive. It's not going to be helping out at all. And we are at 34 drones to 34 SCVs. Kommatiazo is making a round of them again now, actually a fairly big round, but still he could be way ahead given the damage he's done. He killed 15 workers, but it cost him more than those 15 workers to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then here come the Banshees.
Just not really worth it. TerranItUp does, of course, have his urgency as well. The Banshees are, as you say, moving in towards that third base. Kommatiazo has how many queens? 2 queens. Oh my god, actually, that's really, really low.
Yes.
Like, eesh. On 4 hatcheries, 2 queens is just not enough.
Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunately at the you're going to lose this third level of luck.
Yeah.
Because he can't walk them over there. First of all, there's not the creep. Well, he's going to try to, but this means he's not injecting at his natural. He's going to try and defend this, and he may get away with it.
Oh, actually, TerranItUp loses the Banshee.
Yeah.
Bit of a miss micro there by TerranItUp, but yeah, Kommatiazo is going to defend this eventually, but oh god, look at TerranItUp's column of forces moving across the map, and no map vision of Kommatiazo. The first sign he's going to get of this is when it hits his creep, and I actually think if TerranItUp is smart with this, he could... Oh, no, okay, no. He has to. Kommatiazo does have the overwhelp here.
Yeah, we'll pick that off. And yeah, there's just not nearly enough here. On, yes, so
not even slightly.
There's also
80
no
army supply to 42 in favour of TerranItUp. After that living engage, 79 to 40, and TerranItUp just certainly thought this third base is going down. And I think shortly following it will be Kommatiazo's natural and main. Kommatiazo's pulling all the queens. Last kind of chance to actually make something happen here, but he's going to have like, I don't know. There's no kind of way roaches win against an army like this. Roaches are very much a brute force. There's no micro he can do here. And TerranItUp just pummels forwards. Kommatiazo doesn't even have the energy for transfusers, and this macro hatch is going to go down. TerranItUp's got a nice concaving. The macro hatch is just making it more difficult for Kommatiazo to try to engage. So the roaches do surge forwards. Going forwards with the broodlings is his best chance, but his best here is just not quite good enough. TerranItUp 6 marauders, pulling out damage on those queens, on the roaches, everything going down here. And TerranItUp, he just still has more forces. GG, second time in this series. TerranItUp.
Yep. And we are back here on Deadwing. Kommatiazo still complimenting his opponent, and his opponent confused about that apparently. Maybe not used to people being polite to him, which is rarely the case on ladder. Up here on the top right-hand corner of the map, though, we have our yellow Zerg player. He is from Outset Gaming, Kommatiazo.
And his opponent, down here in the bottom left-hand corner, currently up in this series, is a teal player from Ashfire Gaming. TerranItUp.
And again, he's, I think every game so far he's just gone for the wall off at the ramp. That's a pretty normal thing to do, but
yeah, particularly in
he's done that. Kommatiazo, I kind of expect to go hatch first this time. He will move the drone on down to do that. He doesn't know they're in cross yet, but it will be good for that sense of expanding quicker.
Yeah, definitely. Not only just the rush distance, but I feel like cross kind of favors Zerg a little bit more as well. You have to expand towards the town a bit less, which is generally what you want to avoid. Expanding towards the town is, and the horizontal positions have that quite fast. For such a large map as Deadwing, quite fast by air rush distance. So banshees, drops, all those kind of things that town like to do, just that bit faster, and yeah, it usually works out pretty well. Kommatiazo, 15 hatch, 16 pull. Possibly even later, actually. Was that an 18 pool?
It was a bit late. I think he did make, he made something after the hatch. Reaper's coming out for Terran, or at least one Reaper. See if he continues with more. Is not queued up. We'll go for the add-on instead. He's got an SCV already down here for the CC. It's a tad early to go do this, but he is in the area.
TerranItup's scouting pattern is a little interesting because, of course, Kommatiazo can't actually spawn here. So
I don't know if he knows that. He didn't actually. That's weird because he didn't. I guess he went close enough. He would have saw a creep, but of course, like you said, he can't be there anyway. So that is a bit strange.
Yeah, spawn positions are a little confusing though. So I still don't know all the spawn positions on the new maps. Coda and
me neither. There's one of them that has like the third bases are virtually touching, and I don't know if you can be horizontal on that yet. I haven't seen it. But, Reaper does come up here now using the Reaper ledge, which is the only reason that's there.
Yep.
Yeah. And once again, Lings are ready. Oh, they're just going to take it out. So to get it that early, it's worth probably giving up the drone for. Well, not even probably. I mean, it just is worth it, I think.
Yeah, denying any further scouting information, any further harassment. TerranItUp now has 0 map presence. Kommatiazo could actually send his links across, I guess on over Deadwing, even, maybe not. But
pretty far.
On several maps, you could try sending links across map and picking off the SCV that's building command center, but it's a bit too far on Deadwing.
Yeah. Not here. Kommatiazo up until this point had been going for the gas lists, but now mining from 2. Both players already floating, just as I say it, TerranItUp spends his, but both players floating a lot of minerals at that point. Kommatiazo, obviously, in particular, he's got almost 600 available, and it's worth noting that the one game he has won in this series so far is the one where he took the quickest third. And I'd like to see him do more of that, particularly on this map, where he knows he's cross. He shut down the Reaper really quickly. Having that third base up for more larva, more mining, I think would really, really help.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can afford to get out a little bit faster, maybe take some risks on Deadwing, especially if you've got any kind of good vision of what your opponent's doing. And Kommatiazo he's got quite a few forward overlords positioned quite nicely. And, here comes the drone for the third now. Build a conservative after his Evo chambers, after Lair even, but maybe he wants to put on some pressure with roaches at the same time as doing this third, and that's not the worst thing in the world either.
Yeah, he does seem to like doing that. The one thing with TerranItUp, he's gone for a relatively fast third in each game so far, so getting your third, like starting your hatchery after the Terrans already finished their third CC, you can find yourself quickly in deficit if you don't do any damage. So we'll have to see something out of Kommatiazo to even that up or hold our Terran back a little bit.
Yeah, it'll be good. And these are several creep tumors. 2 of them get picked off, but at the cost of Hellion. So, I really don't think that was worth it, actually, particularly as TerranItup's actually not building any more Hellion. So these 2 now, very, very few, are all he's really getting. And they're trying to pull a little too late for Kommatiazo, but this is just 2 Hellions. They're not going to do crippling damage. Or they better not.
Yeah, you would hope so. One Queen definitely doing a lot to one of them now. He's going to have trouble getting back in range. There it goes down. And single Hellion, but he kind of stops chasing it. Will he get any kills? I don't believe so. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Oh, very nearly got 2. Or 3 even, total.
Yeah.
But, just +1 attack coming out for Kommatiazo now. So this is a very aggressive move. Generally speaking, either that or he's just forgotten to get +1 defense. But generally, if you're just going for the attack, then you really want to overwhelm, because that's what the plus attack does. It kind of turns the I win this fight into I win this fight really hard, but turns I'm not sure if I can win this fight into I'm not winning this fight, I lose this fight quite often. There's +1 defense. I think Kommatiazo just forgot about it for a while, so that's a big shame there.
Yeah, he may have just in the wake of the Hellion attack. Scan going down, it's going to see a pretty normal, like a not excessively large army there, so he may not be anticipating what I assume is going to be a fairly strong attack. He morphs the banelings on his end of the map, so that does slow down getting them out there. A pickup by TerranItUp. 6 Marines and a Widowmine there. His defense at the third base, not very strong. It's, again, very Widowmine based. The Marines themselves are not really going to do much if a Baneling Roach army comes over, but he's not making any move to do so. Instead, he's actually going up to Spire. So this Roach doesn't appear to be an attempt at an attack at all.
Yeah, actually, going to the meta upgrades after is going to be really interesting to see what he does. I think he maybe just changed his mind about the
drop coming
attack.
in here now. We'll land. Widowmine moving forward. And we'll just barrel right in the mineral line.
Kommatiazo is watching, but oh god, that could have been pretty close.
Could have been worse. He saw it, pulled back.
Yeah, I mean, I think he pulled his drones a bit too late. If that Widowmine had been targeting the drones, there would have been a lot of dead drones. But luckily, it wasn't. And now it gets cleaned up. Not too much bother. Across the map, TerranItUp, getting a second starpot up, and he's gone for 2 starpots pretty much every game. Very, very early, much earlier than you usually see in TVZ. So I'll be interested to see what his kind of ultimate game plan is. And damn, that's a lot of Widowmines too. So given that Kommatiazo is going for or it looks to be going into the Lingbane Mute style this game, I think those Widowmines are going to be really, really powerful tool for TerranItUp. And
we got the drop coming in, looking for a place to land at this point. I was wondering there if he was going to do the individual drop to set off some banelings, but will not.
No, not today. 5 Corruptors on the way for Kommatiazo as well.
Yeah.
Helps hunt down those medevacs, kind of keep the Terran from just lifting up and running away.
Yeah.
Plus, of course, really good at soaking up marine fire. Spawning with +2 armor is always nice.
Yeah, they are obviously more tanky than mutas are. And I mean, they serve a different role, obviously, as you're saying, but they in some ways serve the same role of damaging the Terran while they're running away. It's just what you're targeting is different. That they obviously will take the air as you're running away. So it's a different purpose, but it does somehow ultimately kind of become the same purpose.
Yeah,
and they're not as vulnerable.
They're a bit worse for drop defense, though, which, I mean, you have to... I think it's one of the reasons why Dark is so good at them, is he's so good that he can actually just defend drops with the rest of his units whilst, everything else goes on the crops has gone on the medevacs. But for now, Kommatiazo is playing this very, very nicely, just sending small groups of units forwards to kind of try and trigger the Widowmines. But Corruptors... You have to be a bit careful with them. They're not that tanky, and they are actually all going to go down here. And these are pretty expensive. 150, 100. Each one of them is worth more than Mutalisk. So, having to rebuild those is very, very expensive here for Kommatiazo. Over, 4 Banelings killed with each. No, just about 4 Banelings killed.
He's trying to find a position to catch. I know what he's doing. He's trying to wrap around here. But he is off creep. Let's see how this does work. He closes in on the tanks here, lands in the middle of this Widowmine pack. A lot does go down. And TerranItUp just kind of pulled away from the entire fight. And just no, I'm not taking that fight.
Yeah, Ken said not to, and so he didn't. And now Kommatiazo, a lot of the Queens are going to go down. One does manage to get away, but Kommatiazo, he has almost nothing left on the field. Just a handful of Zerglings and a Roach. And TerranItUp still has a huge, huge pack of IO. A lot of Widowmines are about to come off cooldown. Kommatiazo has to wait for his next round of Banelings, and they're not going to be here for a while.
Yeah, it's going to be a big round, but unfortunately that is true. And he's clearing up a lot of the creep, and it was the creep that TerranItUp obviously didn't want to come onto until he cleared it out. And Kommatiazo could have done that wraparound. Oh, he may get these Widowmines. before they get
Oh
down.
my god, two of them are
them.
gonna go down! Oh, huge detonations on almost every single Baneling. Kommatiazo now reduced down to just 9 Banelings, and TerranItUp, this gives him absolute new life, new vigor to push forwards, but he is on creep and does have to be a bit careful of those Banelings, despite those Widowmine hits.
Yeah, you need detection when you're going to do that. Coming in here now, everything is on creep, but the spread is so good for TerranItUp, and the tanks there supporting in the back, perfectly spread out with the troops in front. He has to take the engagement here now a little bit, but yeah, it's hard to see where he can go here. There's just not enough.
Yeah, I mean, TerranItUp just has enormous amounts of forces, 120 army supply to 72. And our Corruptors are going to pounce here. They do take out a medevac and a marine, but these marines have got on the high ground. This is the tough part about Deadwing, is trying to deal with this low ground, high ground space at your third base. And TerranItUp, I think, is exploiting that quite nicely, moving your tank up would be even better, but you know, Widowmine goes off, gets a couple of hits, a couple of Baneling kills, not the best thing, not the worst thing. But Kommatiazo is still really, really kind of struggling to hold on, and TerranItUp is putting on the pressure. They're back home, a fourth base up, drilling claws, 3-3, everything's looking fantastic. And Kommatiazo is the one having the pressure on, looking a little bit shaky in the face of it.
Yeah, and each time going in, picking off the little group that steps forward, but then engaging the next wave and losing more himself. TerranItUp being incredibly patient here, looking for his time to move, not taking any engagement if it's not in his favor. And he does get on the tanks here now, which is great. Now taking a lot of Baneling hits on creep, only really Marauders left. He may actually clear this up. He will push everything back here for the time being, but his economy's taken a fair bit of a hit as he does do that. The Corruptor's trying to get some work done on the medevacs, and if he can get a number of those, it is down to just a couple, but there are another big batch with the group at home.
I mean, having pushed this back, Kommatiazo is looking in a much better spot. He's still only sitting at 53 drones though, which is a bit of a problem. He has to be a bit careful not to get too eager here, because TerranItUp still has quite a few forces, reinforcements coming in here, and Kommatiazo is, I mean, he doesn't have enough to fight this next batch of Marines, this next wave coming forwards, and yeah, I mean, he just has to turn around. And now, if TerranItUp decides to go back forwards again, Kommatiazo's just lost a whole bunch of units, and it's going to be even more difficult for him to push forward. Losing these Corruptors is a huge blow as well, especially when the Greatest Spire is just over halfway through completion. Now, no Corruptors on the field.
Yeah, and he really
has to remake those now. In fact, before now, if he wants to have the Broodlords morphing in when the Great Spire finishes.
Yeah, he also hasn't been able to replace the creep at all here. Usually once that has been cleaned out, one of the first things you want to reestablish, which he's trying to do now, is that creep, because that's your buffer. That's the thing that keeps you away from that third base, is having that covered. There are 2 Widowmines still burrowed there. They stand up. I don't know if they're doing anything yet. And with no detection, once again with him, like he could have killed those, but with no detection, he can't.
Yeah. Oh god! Actually, not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but still. Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. Still, 6 kills on one of Widowmine, 4 on another. That's a great way to start a fight off for TerranItUp, and now pushing towards 122 army supply to 54. Kommatiazo steps forward. Some decent Baneling connections, actually really, really good Baneling connections, but now 3 tanks seating up, a bunch of Widowmines on top of them as well, and TerranItUp is just all over this. A load of Lings surging forwards. TerranItUp has so many Widowmines though. Splash damage is more than enough to take care of those, and Kommatiazo has to back off. He has to wait for his next round of Banelings. 46 Lings on the way as well, but with only 5 Banelings, it's difficult to imagine how he's going to succeed against this enormous force.
It's yeah, this time he's not. There's 10 Widowmines behind that. It's not gonna, like, at any point he can fall back now, and yeah. GG, well played. TerranItUp is up 3-1 now.
Okay, guys, welcome back. Thanks for bearing with us over that short break, and we come back into what could potentially be our final game of the night. And hoping it is, up here in the top position of the Binary Research Station is our teal player from Aspire Gaming, Turn It Up.
And his opponent down here in the bottom middle of the map, trying to fight for his life, claw with his fingernails, spread, creep slowly towards victory. He is down 3-1. It is from Outset Gaming, Kommatiazo. And what I'd like to see from him is just a deviation of some kind. I think he's been trying to do this roach type of opening, but sometimes it's come without aggression actually added to it. So it feels like a very defensive roach opening, and then it's into that corruptor style, which, yes, that is a thing. But I think, as you were saying in the game before, it takes a different type of control. It takes a different type of objective, and we haven't seen him really controlling the corruptors in the way he's intended to do so when you're doing that sort of style. It also takes aggression.
Yeah. Well, I think Dark's corrupt style it's very, very strong, but it's really, really difficult. You have to basically be Dark to pull off. And I know Snoot's kind of played around with it a little bit as well. And various other people who kind of emulate what the Koreans are doing, look at that and take their own twist in it. But it's so difficult to pull off. You don't have the harassment power of the muters, so you are absolutely just going toe-to-toe with Terran macro and, just trying to outplay them. And Kommatiazo did make that move towards Broodlords, which I think it flows very naturally into, and I think that's probably the strongest aspect of the corrupt style, is that you get into Broodlords very, very quickly, and Broodlords are great. Broodlord Ultra is just so strong against Terran. Right now, though, Kommatiazo seemed to have troubles with Reapers in every game. This game, it looks like he's not actually going to lose a drone to it, but still, it's annoying. He actually did okay there. The Lings were out a little bit later than I would have liked, but back to what I was saying about the corrupt style, I think Kommatiazo, not to take anything away from him, I don't know if he's good enough to pull it off, because, like I was saying, it's really difficult to pull it off. You have to be, GM to even start thinking about it, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Kommatiazo is going to prove me wrong. Well, I eagerly await.
It seems if you have enough to push back, it's somewhat about being kind of in the critical point that you're actually shoving the army back home. They're not as strong defensively as they are if the moment they step onto creep, you're engulfing them, and the corruptors are coming with you, and you're killing the medevacs and things like that. But if they're just slowly approaching you, as we've seen out of TerranItUp, that's not the case. They're not going to stand and fight. They're good for attacking the Terran once you've already made them retreat, essentially.
Yeah, and Kommatiazo, how we've seen him use them so far is he's just sort of kind of, backed the rest of his army up, sent the corruptors in, and tried to snipe some medevacs. And he's had some success with that, but that's nothing that muters wouldn't be able to do, for example.
Right, that's not the design of that. That's not what that's for.
Yeah.
And then we've also seen a few things, because they have to be controlled so separately, but they're not as active as you would be with mutas. We've seen them hang a group of them, and then have a bunch of Marines come up and kill them all. Yeah.
Bit more difficult to get in the way, and they're not at the forefront of your mind the whole time, like mutas are. Mutas, because they have harassment potential. You're constantly
always
thinking,
moving.
What are my mutas doing? Are they attacking? Do I need them back here for defense? Am I, chasing down a medevac? Mutas, and I think that's one of the most fun things about mutas, and why I'm not such a fan of the corrupt style, but it is very interesting to me. Is that a second Swine Crawler?
I think so.
Okay. He started building one, but I guess he cancelled it. So
he has gone in and scouted that there's an armory down. There's also a Banshee coming and Cloak coming, so he is correctly detecting that this is a strong push that is coming right now, and quite a bit earlier than TerranItUp has been attacking. I expect him to turn there now. There's not that many Lings out on the map. I think he does want to back up to the defense of this spine. He's got 3 queens out. Does have to defend it here.
Oh, this is great. This is perfect for Kommatiazo. If TerranItUp just focuses down the spine, then Kommatiazo can transfuse it pretty much all day. Although I guess he did run out of energy. And then, yeah, that buys him enough time for the roaches to get out. And new problemo. Goodbye, Hellbats.
Yeah, good call. The other thing it does do, it pulls the queens down to this forward natural position. And I like that he did this too, which I guess didn't comment on, but he took the outside first as his natural.
Yes.
And I think that is a stronger move for Zerg to do as opposed to taking the internal one. Now getting a spore up as the Banshee comes on out. He's not got a lair yet. It's only about a third of the way down. So we'll have to rely on the spore. But a Banshee actually just, not sure why, but he's just completely going home.
I think TerranItUp was quite scared of a counterattack from Kommatiazo. He just cancelled 2 bunkers. And Kommatiazo was kind of moving across the map with his roaches, but I think he made the right decision turning line. He didn't have any roach upgrades. He doesn't have he doesn't have a bailing nest or anything to bust up that ramp, and he doesn't just have the sheer quantity of roaches yet.
If this was again on low ground natural, then I'd go counterattack. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Up into the main like this, no. Not on a ramp like that. The 2 Banshees will move out, though, on the right-hand side of the map. There is a spore up in that mineral line and 1 queen there. Not too many workers at that base just yet, but these will get in and do some damage for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be something they do. That queen's actually a little bit out of position, so they might even be able to pick it off so I can get to the safety of that spore crawler. Right now, just droning, Kommatiazo. Actually, doesn't have any Evo chambers yet, so given the TerranItUp already started his 1 month, Kommatiazo is going to be fairly behind in that upgrade count, and that's a big difference because Zerg typically ahead in the upgrades, so for them to be behind, it doesn't work out so well.
Yeah, for sure. You do want to keep that one going. Moving his spore up to defend a little more against Banshees. One of them severely damaged, but they did pick off that queen, as you mentioned. And with lair done, so he's going up to Spire again. He's taking a 4th, so he's certainly being a lot more aggressive in terms of economy in this game. And I think because of that failed attack, TerranItUp on the flip side is a lot more defensive and less expansionary this time around. He has his 3rd GC done, but it hasn't moved out yet.
Not just yet. Nice scan, pick up some of the creep teamers, but doesn't actually get the active one, so be unfortunate there. And those queens are going to have too much trouble making their way down here. But, I mean, again, this is not where TerranItUp really needs to be scanning. It needs to be a bit further forwards and picking off the active tumors. Those are ones that are real trouble. For now, though, I mean, Kommatiazo's finally got some Evo chambers down, but he's not producing anything out of them. The Spire even just about finished, and I think that's what Kommatiazo's been saving at gas for. And he will be able to start 9, not very many Mutalisks because he's supply capped, but he'll be able to start a fair few Mutalisks. And some Overlords, and start getting aggressive with them. And we see him going into roaches into Lingbane Muta, and I kind of feel like his build is a little dysfunctional. He goes into Lingbane Muta quite often, but gets that Roach Warren, and that's not really something. It's good for safety against Hellbats, but actually Banelings do just fine. Like a fast Baneling nest does just fine for that as well, and you don't have to. You're not committing to roaches or anything for that either.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to deviate from where you're at here. A little bit of a supply block again. You see that happen a lot when people go to make their flock of mutas. They always hit a supply block, and we see that there. The mutas making their way out, and I said many times that when the time that you want your opponent to know you have mutas is when they hit the mineral line. Yeah, and he may actually get that off this time around, although TerranItUp is moving out, but this may work fairly well, though.
Nicely timed wave of Banelings here for Kommatiazo, right as TerranItUp moves on to creep. And Kommatiazo's going to step forwards, actually. I'm not sure he can step forwards just yet. The Mutalisks are coming back as well, and I'm not sure if that's the right decision. Like, some
I
good
really don't like
counterattacks
that.
from Kommatiazo could work out really well for him. And he's actually going to get some big Widowmine hits. All the way up, all the Mutalisks on such low health now. 3 of them went down. A few more to the Marines as well, and now a bunch. I think Kommatiazo had just gone and counterattacked with the Mutalisks. They're not going to add that much to the defense here.
Well, that's it, and they could have made the Terran completely turn around. If you have 12 mutas show up in a turretless line, he's got to deal with that.
Yeah, big trouble.
Yeah, so, yeah, I think he had missed a huge opportunity. He was so almost there, and, nice Baneling hits there, just kind of a little bit of a group. Now he's going to lose, like, all the mutas. He needs, it's similar to what we said with the Corruptors. He's not paying attention to those groups that are off to the side, and then they just kind of run under them. Now he's going to go and try the counterattack. It's actually still undefended, surprisingly enough, but now TerranItUp is a lot more established here on the creep. Yeah,
a few decent Baneling hits, but that was quite a lot of Baneling spent there. And I think just 4 or 5 Banelings sent up to kind of the middle of this patch of Widowmines could take out a lot of them, but now the Marauders going forwards is exactly how you want to play this out. They're so difficult to deal with. I mean, you don't want to send Banelings into them, you don't want to send Lings into them because they'll just get killed by the Widowmines. But this is actually some good Baneling connection.
Yeah, the Mutas hit the base and then he stopped paying attention.
Yeah.
So he just hit him with the Banelings. So that's perfect. That's what you want. The Banelings, unfortunately, are coming back again.
All the Widowmine burrow up and hit a lot of those Lings. Don't actually go off on that many of the Marines. So now, TerranItUp still has a fair amount here, pushing forwards again. But all these Widowmines on cooldown, this is the perfect opportunity to run a few Banelings into them, take a lot of them out, really get a bit more aggressive here. Kommatiazo, just like that, perfect. Creeps around.
Yeah, he needs to hold it off. Unfortunately, though, again, the Mutas came back. There's still no defense over there. There's no reason that they came back, other than I literally think he hit F2 and they came back.
Yeah.
There's a big Widowmine hits as he tries to get the...
God, all the Mutalisks. So many of them, and they're all grouped up. Some Banelings on them would be great. More Banelings going for the Thor. TerranItUp is going to break the 4th base here, and that's a crucial point for Kommatiazo. As his main starts to run dry, he really has to have that gas income, particularly from the 4th base as Zerg, to be able to keep up the Mutalisk production, especially as Kommatiazo has been hemorrhaging Mutalisks, and the Banelings morph in, and this could be Kommatiazo's last defense in the ASL.
Yes.
Oh, Widowmine hits again.
He's trying to bait them out, but there's so many now that baiting them is expensive.
Yeah.
You don't want to be baiting 10 Widowmines. And yeah, he's trying to find somewhere to engage, but there's just nothing right now.
There's no good place.
Yeah, there's no spot to do it. The splits are way too good. He's so deep in what he's got in reserve. Okay, it's a good for the Widowmines. That's great.
A little bit late, though. I mean, all the Widowmines do get taken out, but TerranItUp still has so much force here. Some decent Baneling connections, but the Lings are not enough to clean up. TerranItUp moves his reinforcements back in. GG well played for Kommatiazo, and TerranItUp will move forwards in the finals.